Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping.
We might now have conquered the Earth today, but there was a time when this planet was impossible for humans to fill and multiply. It wasn't so much about the climate, rather the animals that roamed the Earth. Yep, there have been creatures even more terrifying and scary than some of the most infamous dinosaurs on this planet. With this in mind, let's take a look at 10 of the most terrifying creatures that ever existed. Honestly, when you're done with this video, you'll be glad you didn't exist a couple of million years ago. Number 10. Short-Faced Bears. The world might see the brown bear as the largest carnivorous land animal today, but it's nothing in comparison to the short-faced bear, the largest bear species to have ever lived. These ferocious but extinct beasts get their distinct name from the shape of their heads, and it's because of their short faces that these giant bears had a much stronger bite force than the grizzlies we have today. They also had very long, strong, and powerful hind legs, which meant they could run very fast. Evidence also shows that some of the North American bears that were discovered in the La Brea tar pits could have weighed more than 2,000 pounds. That's quite impressive because modern polar bears can only achieve a weight of about 1,600 pounds. But that's only half of it. According to fossil records, short-faced bears from South America could have been significantly larger and might have even tipped the scales at 3,500 pounds. Now that's a scary sight. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it really works. Number 9. Smilodon. The Smilodon is truly the stuff of nightmares. This giant cat lived in North America more than 13,000 years ago, which probably means it digested its fair share of early human inhabitants. These ferocious beasts were not only hyper-carnivores with 6-inch long claws, but recent evidence suggests they might have hunted in packs. That's truly terrifying. Many fossils of Smilodon have been found at the La Brea site, where they would have most likely have been attracted there by prey animals that were stuck in the asphalt, and then gotten stuck there themselves. Number 8. Mega Piranha. Yet again, we have another monster that was truly a terrorist in the ocean. You might find piranhas from South America terrifying now, but imagine meeting the extinct relative whose jaws could exert a force up to 50 times the fish's own weight and body. That makes this ancient fish having an even stronger bite force than a Megalodon. An adult mega piranha weighed about 20 to 30 pounds and lived in South America about 6 to 10 million years ago. It loved to prey on fish, snakes, and crocodiles, but a school of these piranhas could make a meal of much larger creatures. Number 7. Megalodon. Everything in ancient times was just designed perfectly to kill humans. As much as the land was dangerous, I don't think any of us would even dream of going 1 inch closer to the sea either. From 15 million to 2 million years ago, 50-foot-long sharks preyed on whales by apparently biting off their fins. That's quite different from modern great whites, which will scavenge on a whale, but won't have the mettle to take on a live one. Megalodons had such a ferocious bite that according to one study, it was strong enough to crush a car. Interestingly, most of what scientists know about this mega predator mostly comes from studying the teeth of the animal. That's because just like modern sharks, most of the skeleton of this animal was made out of cartilage, which decomposes at a much greater rate, thereby leaving very few fossil fragments. Number 6. Dire wolf. Another massive predator that is an ancient treasure found in the La Brea tar pits is one of the most famous wolf species in history. The dire wolf was about the same length as the modern gray wolf, but weighed about 174 pounds. Nevertheless, dire wolves had much stronger jaws than their cousins, which meant that they were masters at crushing bone. Unfortunately, their large sizes could have caused their extinction, as they went extinct about 11,000 years ago. But their cousins remain, and they give us a glimpse of just what the dire wolf might have been. Among the dire wolf's favorite foods was the western horse, which lived in North America until about 11,000 years ago. Horses died out in the Americas and only returned in 1493 when Christopher Columbus's crew brought them along on ships on their second voyage. Number 5. Titanoboa. Are you freaked out yet? If not, then can you imagine coming across a 40-foot snake? In fact, researchers have a very difficult time figuring out just how big Titanoboa was when it lived in South America more than 58 million years ago. So, using the little fossil evidence that they have, researchers estimate that the snake would have weighed about a ton and grown up to 45 feet long. For comparison, modern anacondas can grow up to 29 feet long and weigh 550 pounds. Number 4. American lions. Along with short-faced bears, American lions were some of the biggest predators that were found preserved in the La Brea tar pits. The American lion was about 20% larger than an African lion, but it went extinct around 13,000 years ago. This was about the same time that mammoths and other large herbivores they preyed on went extinct as well. Researchers imagine that the American lions, short-faced bears, and saber-toothed cats that ended up stuck in the asphalt at La Brea were attracted there by struggling prey animals. As they got stuck, more predators took an interest and ventured out into the sticky marsh. It's hard to imagine all those super-sized beasts helplessly together in the tar pits, but that's why about 90% of all the mammal fossils that have been found there belong to carnivores. And now we've come to the best pick of the day. Millions of years ago, oceans were no place for any man. There lived a number of terrifying giants, such as Megalodon and carnivorous whales, that made a meal out of anything they came across. It was a tough time to go surfing if you ask me, or maybe it just made it even more gnarlier. Number 3. Meganora. What's so scary about a dragonfly? If you were a smaller bug or one of the amphibians or other vertebrates moving around a pond hundreds of millions of years ago, you definitely wouldn't want to be spotted by a Meganora, the largest known flying insect, which had a wingspan of about 2.5 feet. They lived during the Carboniferous period. Giant arthropods lasted for only 30 million years before they either went extinct or evolved to become smaller, and again, no one's exactly sure why. The oxygen content in the atmosphere did decrease, but big amphibians were also developing. One theory is that you had the emergence of much larger vertebrates that were able to consume these things, so size was no longer an adaptive feature. Number 2. Terror birds. There was a time on this planet that there was a bird so deadly and frightening, paleontologists literally named it after fear, the terror bird. And these birds didn't even fly. Terror birds, which grew as big as 10 feet tall, evolved in South America around 60 million years ago, during a period when there were few predators on the continent. Yes, there might have been wolves and saber-toothed cats in North America, but there wasn't a land bridge through Central America yet. Terror birds occupied the top tier of the food chain, using their large hooked beaks to kill prey until they went extinct around 2 million years ago. Whew, thank God they didn't live long enough to make a meal out of modern man. Number 1. Quetzalcoatlus. Terrifying animals didn't occupy only the ground and water. Imagine a predatory creature the size of a giraffe with a 33-foot wingspan flying through the air. The Quetzalcoatlus lived during the Cretaceous period, alongside dinosaurs, and might even have eaten the smaller ones. A theory detailed in a Wired magazine article in 2013 suggests that they mostly hunted by walking around like a stork, plucking plants and small animals up off the ground with their 6-foot beaks. But when they took to the air, researchers think they were graceful and powerful flyers, because they had hollow bones like modern birds. These creatures only carried about 550 pounds up into the air, where they might have been able to fly and glide for days at a time. Fossils show that they were covered in hair, which probably helped them regulate their body temperature during flight. And with that being said, we've come to the end of this video. So which one of these ancient monsters would make for a good character for a terrifying horror movie? Let us know in the comments section down below. Want more videos that'll exist until the end of time? Click on any of the videos that you see on the screen. As always, thanks for watching.